So I guess backing up a little bit, right before you went into that, you were talking about your unique value. And I'm wondering if you can give us an example. That was a pretty good example, right? You're bringing in all these other stuff, but what about for your regular, everyday Airbnb? Can you give us an example of what that unique value that you're providing is that makes you stand out from the 12 other? And when you said that, that's so funny because when we got our two in that complex, there was only two others. And now we keep track of them in our complex. And there's like, I don't know, 12. There's a ton. And it's been less than a year probably that they've all started to pop up. So that unique value thing is key. And I'd love to hear what you have to say on that.
Yeah, so, and I'll let you under the hood a little bit into some of the stuff that's taught in the course. But the very first thing, you got to put yourself in the guest's shoes, right? They select their dates, and then the very next thing they go to are the number of people that are traveling with them. So naturally understanding that, you've got to understand that people, we inherently look for value, right? That's why Amazon does well. So what happens is the head to bed ratio becomes the next important thing before they look at the price, because you can't change in most cases the number of people, especially if they're all kids, right? You're just not going to leave a kid at home to get a good deal,
whether you want to or not.
so the head to bed ratio becomes important. And then what we do is on the front end, we go into Airbnb as a traveler, and then we look at any given market, and then based on having a 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom, we look at each bedroom size and then how many people are sleeping in those bedroom sizes across the market. So for example, in Panama City Beach, the 1.5, I call it bedroom condo, has a twin bunk and a king bed, typically designed to sleep 3. Most condos that size in the market are sleeping just that. They're sleeping 3. So in order for us to have unique value from a head to bed ratio, we purchased some fold-in cots that we could just tuck away in the closet, right? So now the listing can sleep 6, and because it's a 1.5 bedroom, I say that, but it's shaped funny. It's not a typical 2-bedroom place. But we're able to offer 2-bedroom value in terms of bed space at a little bit above a 1-bedroom price. And that becomes significant because of the value people always look for when traveling. And 3 or 4 bookings per month in Panama City Beach have 5 to 6 guests, which means they get the right value at the right price, and they don't have to split their group into a bigger place or into 2 places. So that's the very first thing. The second thing that we look at are kid-friendly places. And I always joke and say that kids are a real thing, right? So parents travel, whether it's Olympia, Washington, City Center, or it's Panama City Beach, people travel with their kids. So those filterable items for kids, mainly being a high chair and a pack and play, become crucial, because anything you can go into Airbnb and select a filter for, then allows you to continue to be in the listing when folks are dwindling their selections down. So having a pack and play in a crib and cabinet locks and what's the little plastic things that go into a socket?
The outlet covers.
Having those are crucial, and we do them in every market, in every home. And then the third thing becomes pets. Pet-friendly amenities are also a filterable item, and providing pet-friendly amenities and allowing pets are also. So the fourth thing our events. And I mentioned it earlier as to why we take events, because we're able to push most of those at some point to Peerspace. But allowing events is also a discriminator, because you can put very specific guidance on the type of events you allow, additional prices, security deposits, to where if people book for an event, they've got a set of house rules that box them in that they have to agree to in order to host that event. And then we want to see how bad they want it. So there's usually a hefty security deposit tied to an event. But again, at the end of the day, we look at it conceptually and say that, hey, there's a family of 10 coming in. They've got 2 kids, they've got 2 pets, and they want to, host a small birthday party for one of their family members that they're visiting in the backyard or somewhere. So ideally, that allows you to be marketable to each of those traveler demographics, and then you're marketable to everybody else. So I always say it's never where you start, and the whole notion that first page rankings matter. I tend to disagree with that, simply because every traveler goes in and they select very specific things, and then they hit at least 1 or 2 filter. So it's never where you start, but it's where you finish once all the filters are selected, and there's a very small group of homes that are left. And that's the group you need to be in order to hit that point earlier about offering unique value in the market and understanding where market gaps exist. And to that point, I'll take Houston, Texas, where we set up one of the last places. That city has thousands of listings on Airbnb. Before we set up our unit, we went through the exact same criteria before determining what to buy for that market. But once we took a 1-bedroom, we equipped it to sleep 7, well above what 1-bedrooms in the market were offering. It's pet friendly. It's got the kid friendly amenities. We allow events. By the time we filtered down each of those specific areas, there were only 2 listings in the whole city that were able to compete. So then putting that specific listing into Houston automatically meant that we were not engaged in a price war to start. So we were offering very unique amenities. And in this case, it simply becomes a look at, hey, against each of these traveler demographic or unique areas, we only want 1 booking per month at best. But those were 4 or 5 different areas that I spoke to. And if you get that, in most cases, especially weekends at weekend rates, you're able to hit or go above your targeted profit margins in most cases. But at the end of the day, understanding those unique areas in any market allows you to then assess the market and then build out your listing or add to your listing to make sure you're offering something unique in the market, and then you can remain competitive.